Hello viewers and welcome to Factorio. I'm your host PPCC and today we're starting a Let's Try series. And well, this is not going to be a full Let's Play series because this game is what I would classify as an engineering sandbox game. It's a game where you set up these huge production chains, and I think the plot of it is that you're this space colonist whose specialty is to go in before the actual wave of settlers and set up production facilities and factories and stuff so that they can have a much more comfortable life. So, I've started up the game here. I've let it run for about 15 minutes, and I have the basic things set up here. And I figured the best way to start this series would be just to take you guys through the early game to really set up what I have so far, and really the first portions about setting up factories, and really getting into the part where the game starts to roll forward and pick up speed. So, this is about 15 minutes to the game, and currently I'm just harvesting resources. As you can probably tell, resources come inside these large blobs on the ground. I have some coal here, some iron down at the top and bottom corners of the map, and some iron to the left inside that big blob of gray stuff around this lake. Anyhow, what I have so far is that I have a few of these Minecraft-esque working machines. They're called burner mining drills, and they use coal to produce a wide variety of different substances. Currently, they're producing coal inside this coal patch, and they're putting it inside this wooden box. Down here, I have a few more of these miner drills. You'll see here that I have one that is currently outputting a large amount of stone. The stuff over here is stone, and it's also putting it inside this box right here. Over here, I have another burner mining drill, and it's currently inputting a lot of copper ore into this little furnace here, and it's currently producing me copper plates. Now, in the top little corner, over here, I have another one of these setups producing iron ore, and another one of these furnaces which is producing iron plates. So, with these four resources sort of met, I've sort of satisfied the basic resource needs inside the game, and there's actually not very many different types of harvestable resources inside the game, though there's a ton of ways to actually use those resources, and a ton of ways to make them into different products, which is really rather interesting. So, with that sort of said, I mean, we've satisfied the basic resource gathering operations here, and now we have the chance to expand our production into something much more bigger and greater, so that is sort of what I am going to do now. What I want to do is that I want to move off of using coal as an energy source, and I want to move into electricity so that I can get started on research, and research will essentially lead you to bigger and better things inside this game. The game also features combat in addition to, of course, your building of factories, which is rather interesting. So with that sort of said, I've already built the requirements to build a little energy power station of sorts, and as you can see here, the game has a night and day cycle, and it's currently turning on. So this little steam engine, or the steam/coal power plant, will require 4 parts, technically 5 if you count the electric poles needed, but I have the engine going here. All it requires is a output location and a little and some fuel units too. So, with that sort of said, I want to get a little power plant started, and then furthermore, going off of that, I also want to get a refinery going over here to make iron plates in mass instead of, say, just having these little burner drills and these little stone furnaces. I want to make it into a large operation, seeing as how we're going to require a lot of those. With that said, let's get this power plant running, and what this entails is that I've built an offshore pump which is currently sucking water out of this little lake here. It's pumping it into a single unit of piping, because I believe you do need that there, and the piping goes into a boiler which then sort of converts, using coal, converts that water into steam, and the steam goes into the steam engine, which then generates electricity. So, as you can see here, it's currently producing a little bit of available performance, but seeing as how we don't have anything that actually requires performance right now, it won't go any higher. So with that said, let's build something that requires electricity. I'm gonna build a lab here so that we can get started on research, and you'll see here that it'll take 5 time units, it'll take 4 transport belts, 10 iron gear wheels, 10 electrical circuits, but and the game really just sort of works on building these intermediary goods before building one singular good. So as you can see here, I mean, I've clicked that button, and now currently in the bottom corner of the screen, I'm producing a lot of different resources, namely some iron wires and currently some electrical circuits before it finally produces this singular lab. And this is because the game really revolves around taking these, say, individual, units of just raw goods such as iron, copper, stone, and wood, converting it into intermediary goods, and then finally making it into a base thing, or one thing that we actually want, which in this case is a lab, and I'll just place that here. So, the cycle pretty much works like this. Now the steam engine is generating much more available performance, and the temperature inside is heating up. The lab has electricity, and it's apparently dedicated to mind, which is one little thing that I don't know necessarily what that means, but I mean it's doing its job. And what we can do here is that I can insert these little science packs, which I just sort of have in hand, and now this lab will start research, and it'll start to research towards the top little corner, whatever I have in the top little corner of the map here, which is automation, which is the first level of research pretty much towards making these refineries and stuff and such. So now the steam engine will gradually produce more power as the temperature heats up. You'll see here that a little bit of performance is being used by that lab, and this lab, all it'll do is that it'll just convert these science packs into automation gradually over time. And a lot of things inside this game work in a similar fashion, where you input resources, it'll convert it into another one, and then it'll just really go from there. So we have electricity, we have a lot of available performance. Let's get an electrical mine running. So I'll take away these stone furnaces and this single burner mining drill, and let's see what we can do to set up one industrial process. And getting iron is very, very crucial inside the game, seeing as how everything seems to depend upon it. So that'll be a good initial goal. Now, in the meantime, I think what I'll do here is I sort of clear the terrain, is that I'll get our game to just sort of research science packs, or build science packs over time. And one of the biggest faults of our guy here is that he can only build one thing at a time, meaning that if we want to build these science packs, as you see there in the bottom corner, he has to build those individual gear wheels, and then he has to take the time to actually do and build those little red Erlenmeyer flasks to finally build those science packs. So with that said, I mean, a lot of the things about this game is, how would an industrialist do this? And in this case, the answer would be to automate this process, and to automate it on a very, very large scale. I'm going to research logistics here, because I want some of these underground conveyor belts and some of these fast inserters, and I'll show you guys why in a second. Alright, so I've cleared out this area around this iron on this iron ore set. Now, let's finish up these science packs. So it looks like I still have a little bit of time to go. So I'll get the game to just sort of finish up that for now. And what we want to do is that we want to set up a few of these electrical mining drills so that we can get started on producing coal in large quantities. So yeah, pretty much the game just sort of flows like this. I'm actually going to bob over here, and I'm going to get a few things done, namely just check up on my coal production, because that'll be critical to keeping that boiler alive and running. Now, the game features quite a little bit of research on a lot of different power sources. I think they have like fusion, solar, you have this steam engine, of course, and they also have some cars, and I presume some oil-based stuff as well. So it's a very, very interesting thing, especially if you like the red. I don't know what it's called, like the red stone or red dust stuff in Minecraft, I suppose. So, now, I'm starting to produce a lot of these electrical mining drills, and with them, I should be able to get production of iron up in a large scale. And how these things work is that I can pluck down a few buildings just by sort of selecting it and plucking it down. And with these electrical mining drills, you'll notice that here it has this green zone around it, the actual physical object, and also this little yellow arrow when I put it down. And what this is that this electrical mining drill can harvest the resources in all of that green area around it. It's a 3x3 object, so it takes up 9 tiles to actually be placed down. And what happens from here is that I have an absolute ton of looks like I'm starting to run out of some iron plates, which is what I wanted to say. So I want to get these little electrical things running, and I want to get some more of those. But anyhow, I was talking a little bit about how these things actually generate iron, and what happens is that as soon as I apply power through these electrical posts, and you'll see here that the posts have a little radius around them supplying the local area with electricity. And how this sort of works is that as these little electrical mining drills are supplied with power, it will just sort of speed up the mining action, and it'll just sort of get those little miner blades to spin around and around, so then it will generate units of iron ore, and then it'll then spit it out at where that yellow arrow is facing. And from there, what I can do is that I can get a few of these stone furnaces, just pluck them down right in front of these little electric mining drills, fill them up with coal, and now this entire circuit will effectively generate iron plates for me to just sort of come over here and scoop up like that. So, going from there, I want to make this chain bigger and better, and over time, that is really the goal of the game, I suppose, to make huge production chains for various different goods. Currently, what we want to do is we want to set up these chains. Oh, I think I took all of the fuel out of these burner mining drills over here. What I want to do right now is that I want to set up electrical mining drills to take out all of these resources to extract them, and then later on I want other things to take those resources, then process them into intermediary goods, so then they can be processed into other final products, which then I might use or use to craft other goods too. So going from there, I want to replace all of these burner mining drills with these electrical ones, because these electrical ones have a mining speed of 0.5, that is half of what we can do. However, I mean, if we place a lot of them, obviously they work much faster than ourselves mining. And furthermore, these burner mining drills, they take a lot more energy just sort of in themselves, and just due to the fact that they use coal. And they have a slower mining speed of only 0.35, so that is one big thing. Alright, so I'm generating a lot of iron plates here, but you'll see here that inside my stone furnaces, quite a little bit of excess ore is starting to accumulate, and that is another little thing that I want to address here. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to make a setup that will essentially make it so that instead of having these furnaces directly linked up to these electrical mining machines, I want them to be set up so that they produce these electric mining drills will produce iron ore, put it on a conveyor belt, and that conveyor belt will then take that ore and effectively push it to somewhere else, because it's much more efficient to get a large chain of these stone furnaces running instead of getting a large amounts of backlog like they are doing up here. So yeah, I suppose we'll apply this to this iron ore mine, then I suppose we'll do the copper one, and then finally the coal one is what I think we'll go for. Looks like our steam engine is running. It looks like the steam engine has a slight, loss of performance, so it looks like it's only at 75%. And this could be due to a myriad of different reasons, and the general flow of the game is, well, first you have these ideas to build these factory chains, and then another one is to finally optimize these production chains so that they are finally very, very efficient. Alright. So, like I said, we have a few resources now that we can finally use, or we have a few of these transport belts and a few of these inserter hands, so I feel like we should be able to set up this little mining chain now. these transport belts, you can make 2 of them out of 1 iron plate and 1 iron gear wheel. And you'll see here at the bottom of most items, the game will actually tell you how many units of total raw resources you'll need. So it requires 3 plates of iron to make one of these things. One thing that you may have noticed is that if there's a single unit of whatever item, so long as it's on the ground in front of this little arrow, it'll actually stall up these electric mining drills. So we can't just leave them sort of on the ground like this. And what I'm doing to alleviate that is that I can build a few transport belts. First I have to make them, then I use the key R to rotate them, and I can make this belt setup like this, where all of the iron will just sort of be funneled onto this belt, and this belt apparently runs on magic or something. You can build them without electricity, and it'll just sort of move that resource to other places is the gist of it, I suppose. And from there, what I can do is this. I can make a chain down here, and I want this to be a very, very long production location, so I'm going to get it to wrap around here. Now down here, what I can do is that I'm going to try to space this out a little bit, but I want to make a chain of these stone furnaces, like that. I think we'll need a few more. I'll just put all of them down. You know what? Chop down that tree, extend this little line here by a little bit. And what I can do from here is that I can try to make this location fully, or practically fully automated. And how I do that is that, well, first and foremost, I'm going to fuel up these stone furnaces. That is one thing that, unfortunately, that I'll have to do manually. But with these inserter hands, I'm actually going to be able to make a system in which the units of iron will be inserted into my stone furnaces automatically. And what this allows me to do is that it allows me to use multiple furnaces in mass on an efficient scale to produce large amounts of iron plates, pretty much, and I'll show you guys in a second here. So, excuse the shoddy power up, you know, just sort of electrical poles everywhere. But what this setup will do is that it'll effectively stop these little inserter hands. They like to keep the units of whatever they're assigned to up to 5 units. So over here, as times just sort of goes by, those little inserter hands will gradually pick up units of iron ore, put it into these stone furnaces, and it'll just continuously do that to smelt more and more iron, pretty much. And what we want to do from here is that we want to sort of capitalize on that, and we want to make that setup bigger and better. I'm just going to build a few more science packs because they're really crucial, and we need a lot of them, namely because I want that logistics tech too. And the other thing about them is that, I mean, currently we have some time, and it's generally this game is, you know, it's fairly about efficiency. So, this will just sort of keep running until the space inside the little furnaces has run out, and you can make stacks of these plates up to 128 units. So it'll take a little bit of time before they finally run out, and during that meantime, these hands will just try to supply these stone furnaces with a good amount. Looks like I'm mistaken. Looks like it'll just try to keep 2 units of iron ore inside here. And in addition, if you have a supply belt with coal, I believe it'll also try to keep these things filled with pretty much any of the inputs, which will be everything on the left-hand side inside this little menu here. And as you can see, this setup is, well, it's a little more efficient, but it's not terribly much so. So currently I have about, I would say, like, you know, around 10 of these stone furnaces. Granted, I put some of the iron ore in them myself, but these 5 electric mining drills are just keeping this entire area running and pretty much burning throughout the night. Going from here, we want to make this place a little bit better and a little bit more efficient. And further, going from that, we really just want to sort of expand from here. So I'll put these science packs inside the lab, I'll let that run, and it looks like this steam engine only has an efficiency of whatever value it was. It looked like it was about 75%. So going from that, I'm actually going to get another steam engine up and running over here, and again I use R to rotate things and pluck them down. The pipes also seem to, or rather the offshore pump also seems to run on magic, and it just sort of does its own thing. But anyhow, set up another engine here. Oh no, I don't have any coal, so I'll have to go and get some. And really, we're just going to sort of build off from this. So, with that said, we just want to, well, I want to finish this iron refinery, and then I'll move on, and perhaps in the meantime, or perhaps somewhere in between, I'll actually set up a coal, extraction a little bit too, and I have a pretty interesting blueprint for that too. The interesting thing about the coal production is that 1 unit of coal inside one of those burner mining drills actually produces right around 7 units out. So I'm not really in any hurry to build any more coal using facilities, because once everything runs on electricity,